It's time! What's good, y'all? We're back again with another vlog. Gonna be another one of those first time video. And this time, I'm not singing to start it off because I don't think there's any song appropriate for that. But I did get away with what it's gonna be. And this time, your boy got to watch a UFC game live for the first time. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna be eating my mac and cheese. Well, it's not mac and cheese, but it's kind of like that. I don't know what these are, but we're basically gonna be having a mukbang-ish kind of video while I'll tell you guys my first time experience. Well, funny thing is, my buddy and I, we carpooled to go there. We were lined up at this place. We thought it was the Rogers Arena, but we walked into BC Place and we had no idea what we lined up for. The lady at the front was checking our tickets on her phone and it wouldn't work for some reason. She was like, huh, that's odd. And then I told her, is this a UFC event? And she's like, oh no, that's across the street. And we didn't realize we were walking into BC Place when we're supposed to be going into Rogers Arena. So that's a funny story. Another funny thing is that we were seeing a lot of children around BC Place and we were just like, that's kind of odd because that's not the kind of place where you would bring your family to. So that kind of gave it away for us. Surprisingly enough, we still didn't realize even after seeing all those children. We walked across the street to Rogers Arena, and the closer we get, the more we realize how different the types of audience were. Like we were seeing a lot more, rowdy looking guys, people that wore their hats backwards like this with their bling and everything. I definitely dressed the part, I guess. It's definitely a male-dominated kind of sport. So yeah, we got to see a lot more people. Already kind of drunk. I mean, we did arrive there a little bit closer to the end of the night. Well, because we didn't want to be there for the whole night. I didn't feel like spending over 6 hours sitting watching a lot of fights. Yeah, as soon as we walked into the Rogers Arena, also my first time by the way, the floor was sticky. I was wearing my vesties and the floor was grippy, man. There's all those spilled drinks everywhere. And it was a little bit smelly, but you should kind of expect that. As soon as we walked into the actual inside location of the arena, you kind of expecting to hear a lot more from the fight itself, right? Because most people have only seen UFC from the TV screens or online or whatnot. So you're expecting to hear a lot of, hitting, footsteps on the mat, bodies hitting the mat, obviously the crowd, and trainers on the side yelling. And if you're sitting far away from the octagon, you're not hearing a damn thing. You're only hearing crowds. If you happen to be sitting by a rowdy group of people, it's not gonna be the most pleasurable experience because all you're hearing is people yelling. If you wanna hear fights, if you wanna really experience it up close, you're not really gonna hear that. You're gonna be hearing a lot of yelling, a lot of booing, a lot of cheering, of course, and you're just seeing these two little people really far down, just kind of moving around, and you're not hearing the punches. You do hear the people hitting the mats though. It's when they fall on the mats or when punches hit the mats or whatnot. It's definitely a weird experience because we're really used to watching it live, so you're definitely not hearing the commentary from DC and John Anik. My right ear is actually very sensitive to noise, so I wish I brought earplugs. So if you have sensitive hearing, bring your earplugs. It's really gonna hurt your ear. And it definitely hurt mine. Sitting next to a guy that cheered really loudly definitely made the experience worse for me. So I had to keep one finger in my right ear while I was watching the entire event, just like this. I'm pretty sure he didn't notice because he was pretty drunk, and he was having a good time, so he wasn't really looking at me. About the fights, it's kind of like what you really expect. Nothing surprising, but the only thing I realized is that if you're used to watching other sports in arenas, basketball, hockey, soccer, football, volleyball, you could stand up, move around, go pee, grab food, be on your phone, and it's okay. It's not a big deal if you miss a thing. because you kind of know what's gonna happen anyway. You know, ball goes into goal, ball goes into a hoop, ball hits the ground. You know exactly what's gonna happen. You just really looking to see some cool plays. But in UFC, or I mean just MMA in general, anything could happen at any moment. So it really keeps you engaged in the fight. So you don't get bored. Also, fights are quick. Like I said, anything could happen. Because someone can get knocked out 30 seconds into the fight. I mean, I've seen one in person, but there's definitely been occasions where someone gets knocked out 5 seconds into the first round. So things like that could happen. That's what makes UFC exciting, which is MMA in general, is that anything could happen. You don't want to blink an eye, you don't want to be chatting next to your buddy or your girl or your boy or whatever, what have you. I was really engaged into all this. I was also hungry at the same time. And I really wanted to grab food, but I didn't want to miss someone getting knocked out or anything like that. So, your boy's hungry. That's why I'm sitting here right now, doing this first time vlog while eating my food, mukbang style. And this hits different when you're really hungry. Been watching a fight for 3 hours or so, and you didn't put anything into your body. And also, if you're watching fights, you kind of have a little bit of adrenaline going on in your body too, because you're kind of like putting yourself in the bodies of these fighters. You're a little bit immersed into the experience. So you get a little bit of adrenaline, and we all know if you get some adrenaline in your body, you get hungry. Boy's hungry. I watched UFC 289. Compared to a lot of big events, this one's nothing crazy. I guess if we're talking about the highlights, I did see Charles Oliveira versus Dariush. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their names right, but whatever. It was a good fight. Yeah, Charles Oliveira technically knocked out Dariush. He got a good hit on him right by the cage, and Dariush, I'm not the best UFC commentator, but from what I've seen, Dariush fell to the ground. Charles Oliveira follows up and starts hitting him a bunch. The ground and pound. I know what ground and pound is. Hey, boy knows his shit. Hammer fist, hammer fist. Hammer fist. Yeah, he was hitting him a bunch in his face, and Dariush eventually couldn't block all the hits, and he got TKO'd at that moment. And yeah, Oliveira wins the fight. I got to hear him speak for the first time. I guess he's Portuguese, so for some reason I was kind of expecting him to speak decent English, but he definitely needed a translator. That was definitely the most exciting fight of the night. And after that, we got to see Amanda Nunes versus Aldana. I don't really know Aldana that well. All I know is that she's Spanish. So she's representing Spanish people. Round 1, not a lot happened. Round 2 starts to pick up. Round 3 still okay. Around round 3, you can kind of see how Amanda Nunes is already, a bit better. Definitely better. Not a bit, but better than Aldana. You're seeing her land a lot more hits. Round 4, you're starting to see how Amanda Nunes is dominating. In round 5, last few minutes-ish, they were having a lot of ground action there, and Amanda Nunes was on top of her the entire time. So we knew at round 5, Amanda Nunes was going to win, because Aldana was just on the defense the entire time, but even her defense wasn't the best. We already knew Nunes is going to win this. She's still going to win this, for sure. And lo and behold, round 5 ends and she wins. She wins the fight. Not really surprised. I mean, she's always been a really great fighter, as far as I know. She's called the Lioness for a reason. Hey, your boy knows UFC. At the end of the fight, I don't keep track, but I realized Nunes had 2 belts on her. So She must have already won a super fight. Your boy knows what a super fight is. Yeah, she got 2 belts and she puts both belts down on the mat, and buddy next to me was like, is she retiring? There's no way she's retiring. I guess this is how UFC fighters announce their retirement. They just, as soon as they win the fight, they just put these belts on the mat, and then they look for the cut man. The cut man, funny name. Cut man to help them cut the gloves off their hands and put it down next to the belts. And next thing you see is Nunes just kind of like bowing down to her belts, kind of announcing that she's done. She's done in the UFC. Honestly, it was hard to hear what she was saying because we were watching it live, so there were no subtitles. But from what I could pick up is that she, her family is worried for her. They don't want to keep seeing her fight and get hurt. Speaking of getting hurt, I did see a doctor stoppage. I don't know who these people were, but there was a fight that got ended pretty quick because there was an accidental headbutt. And one guy had a cut around here. You can see him bleeding a lot on his face. And the doctor walks in and checked him out, and I guess he's hurt really bad. So they had to stop the fight. And in the video game, you have to be really hurt. Way worse than that for a doctor to stop the fight. But for this case, I guess a little cut here on your head is enough to stop the fight, huh? But the funny thing is that in the video game, whoever is hurt bad enough loses. But in this fight, they ended with a no contest. So I'm kind of confused. Like, how do they get paid? Who wins more money? Who wins less? How does this work? Do they still get paid? I don't know. I don't know how these things work. But there's no contest and fight got ended quick, so that's that. But going back to Nunes versus Aldana, I mean, I guess there's not much to talk about it. You know, it was a clean fight. Nobody really did get hurt. I'll give it to Aldana though. She lasted all 5 rounds at least. She didn't get knocked out. She almost got submitted, but she got out from it too. But the thing is, I also did notice that Amanda Nunes was. It looked like she was letting her up. She could have, you know, tried to make her submit, but no, she just let her up a few times. I don't know. I'm not an MMA expert, so I can't say. I did see that Nunes allowed her to get up, but at the same time, it looked like she was setting up a trap to clinch with her again. Hey, your boy knows what clinch is. And she started hitting her since she got up. So it seemed like she was setting up a trap, but I don't know. I'm not an MMA expert. You know what? Right before round 5 ended, a lot of people started walking out already because they already knew. They already knew Nunes was gonna win. But they did miss out on the announcement of her retirement, though. They didn't even know that was the last time, possibly the last time, that you were ever gonna see her fight. So, too bad if you left early. Sucks to be you. But then again, I've heard some people retire in the UFC and then come back because they want the money. But if I was Nunes, I made all that money already. I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm good. I have enough to support my whole family, so definitely myself, and probably the families after my family. And we're good. We're good. I've already made a legacy for myself, so. If I was Amanda Nunes, you've already won 2 championship belts and you retire while you're a champion, which is a really good way to do it. Let's say that's smart. That's smart. Oh yeah, it was a great night at the Rogers Arena. Kind of worried that things were gonna happen. I saw videos on Twitter. People fell off the bleachers as someone was walking out to the octagon. So that was kind of interesting to see. I should have made sure the place was safe before allowing people to lean on those things. But yeah, a lot of people felt like zombies behind the guy as he was walking into the arena. I heard that there was a bunch of fights that happened down at the floor. I missed it, but a lot of people were standing to look at it. I kind of expected that to happen. Happens in almost everywhere when you see fights, right? In UFC for sure. I did walk around the Rogers Arena too. check out the food. So for the foodies, here's a little warning. You're not missing out on much. Foods there. Hot dogs, they look basic. Popcorn, looks like cold popcorn. Nachos, Drinks were, yeah, you can't really go wrong with drinks, but at the same time, you're spending a lot of money for drinks too. So your boy didn't want to spend anything because we have better things to spend our money on. And that's definitely not on popcorn and cold ass nachos and lame ass hot dogs. Yeah. Overall, it's a great experience. If you enjoy UFC, if you've never seen it in person, I highly recommend you to go see it at least once. But it's still better to just watch it on TV. You can hear the commentary. You can see everything a lot better too. Unless you're sitting like right there, it's better just watching TV. I'm not gonna spend thousands of dollars just to see a fight up close, you know? Not worth it. But yeah, UFC. Keep doing what you're doing. Definitely really popular right now. But that's about it. Peace.